Hey YouTubers, it's Janine Watkins reading another excerpt from my first book, Sonder Lives or Sonder Lives. Either way, I'm reading an excerpt actually here from my MIT section called The Rock Squirrel, so here you go. Flash! I'm surrounded by bleak darkness. Slowly, light begins filtering in. I can see Arian's head bobbing up and down. Then the rest of his body becomes present. And then, oh, my! I was not ready for this. How could I have forgotten this? The vivid memory was not justice by the few jots of words I formulated into Mitt. I hadn't even mentioned anything of this visual masterpiece. It's unreal. It was as if a professional team came in and decorated the entire scene by hand to give the illusion that something naturally could be formed so effortlessly and to be left with such modest terms simply to be called the outdoors. A vastly rich array of lush spruces of green can be seen throughout the entire canvas, and giant rock formations surround us. I have to catch my breath at first glance, still off guard. What a magnificent sight to become present in! I should listen to my own advice more often. This journey does not have to be faced, simply enjoyed as it comes. Mountains fold in and out of one another with rich, warm tones of marbled colors that remind me of mares. Mares, I have forgotten what it looks like. I forgot that it was the greatest treasure of any planet, and that the greatest treasure to learn of any planet is to just explore and experience its unexplainable beauty. I remember now. My childish smile begins on my face, and it radiates throughout my entire body, so it was as if I could feel the sunlight glisters from within. I look up and let go of trying to figure out my past while being completely in this moment. I become light. And so does everything around me. Click! Huzzah! I activate the aura reader! The rocks, clouds, and surrounding greenery all flicker and dance in a vibrant hue of violets and lavenders. It's activated by me being, and not just seeing. I have begun to become what I am seeking. I am being light, seeking light. Click. How fascinating. I easily spot piranha beings making their ways up the mountains and one standing around, even through the bushes. All the earthlings are different beams of sky blue, lime green, and seldom canary yellow light. I yelp, which turns into a wail once I see what has happened to Arian as well. He is covered in a teal blue sheen. Arian jerks back at me, very guarded. What's happening, Sonder? Susan? He regains his composure. Are you okay? Not feeling up for a hike today? I shake my head, almost begging. What is that? Sonder? I hold out my right index finger and directly point it at him, then jump back when I discover that I am too covered in this magnificent shade of cerulean blue that excites me as much as it frightens me. I frantically try wiping off the sheen from my right hand. It does not budge. Arian grabs my right hand, blocking my left hand and from rubbing, causing all beams of light to shut off. I look at my surrounding travelers, who stare at me in wonder. They carry no judgment as they continue on their hike. I look back at Arian, who sounds now concerned. Get a hold of yourself. Now what? I spew out words. Lights everywhere! You and me and them and the mountains and me and... I pull my right hand back into a ball. It's safe up inside of my left. I compose myself to articulate clearly. I was just surprised. That's all. I thought I was going to be harder to... activate this aura reader. Commander made it seem impossible for someone at my level. I was just caught off guard, that's all. Arian looks mesmerized. No way! You can read aura? When did Commander even talk to you about this? He begins wildly questioning with great glee. I do not hear most of his questions as I start to question my own sequence of events. I only knew of aura reading after talking with Commander. But this moment must have happened before then, otherwise that conversation would have never taken place. Suddenly, Cassiopeia's jingle rings back to me. Everything's done with absolute divinity. If it doesn't happen, it wasn't meant to be. I refocus on the present and catch the end of what Arian is saying. Susan, how are you such a winner at this game of life? He starts to laugh. Well, I'm not supposed to speak about levels I'm mastering outside of the university, but as a responsible peer, I cannot just withhold information when it could help you. You are clearly ready to hear it, and without proper spacer program guidance, you could slip into hysteria. He winks at me, which reminds me to return to a calmer state. Okay, let's take a seat. Arian instructs me to follow his lead. We take a few steps off the path, cross our legs, and face one another. Arian goes right into it. Everywhere in the galaxy, it is the same. The galaxy contains prana. All forms of prana in all life radiate at a certain frequency based on its level of openness. That's what you just saw. Depending on the level of openness, it appears to illuminate different auras. Plants and rocks will always radiate the highest violet aura because it's very rare that it's affected by anything emotionally, and it is almost always open to flow at any time. They are pretty constant. So for now, we can just ignore all of those plants. He pauses. Sentient objects are a bit trickier because potential openness alters based on their current states of connection and comfort with their surroundings. I look around at the violets and lavenders, then at the sky blues, lime greens, and so on. I lift my right hand, still teal, and ask, "Is blue good?" Arian playfully slaps my hand. Did I say good or bad? My right hand is now green. I shake my head, feeling embarrassed. Arian sounds exhausted and continues. I'm teasing you, kid. I apologize for the way that came across to you. I shake it off and keep learning unapologetically. Blue indicates a prana's willingness to connect at a higher potential. Not as high as purple, but higher than, say, a prana in the state of Kelly Green, or much higher than a rosy red. He looks me up and down. Your emotional level is like a roller coaster. 1 minute you're blue, then you're green. A moment ago you were teal, and you just returned to a vocal blue again. We all fluctuate. Some more than others. The way I interact is always to be on my toes. I try not to disconnect. Now that you know, I won't leave you too long before finding a way to reconnect. Arian holds up his left hand with his palm facing me and continues, I promise. I hold up my right hand. I nod, knowing that he never makes promises. This feels nice. Arian laces his left hand's fingers between mine, pushes himself up, and with his right, would have been his left hand, and with his right hand, then pulls me up. He takes a deep breath and tells, close your eyes and focus on your heartbeat. Feel the warmth of the palm on your hand. Now, feel the coolness of the fingertips on the back of your hand. I close my eyes, but don't want to see all the lights again. No more melting kaleidoscope, please. He walks me through it. Focus. Focus on the warmth, so when you open your eyes, the warmth will still be in focus and focused on you. Find all the warmth that surrounds you. Connect your warmth as one. He squeezes my hand and I can feel his warmth. I feel the coolness on his fingertips. I am still hesitant to open my eyes, but at this moment, I do not need to. With my eyes closed, I start feeling the warmth. All of it is surrounding me. My warmth yearns to be close to all of the prana around me. Even though I do not see their auras, I definitely feel them. They are very welcoming. I finally open my eyes and gain connection to all of the spruces of shrubs and small trees, the rocks and clouds. All of them are flickering and dancing in their brilliant hues of violet and lavender. The birds flying above in clusters of piranha make their way in their path beams with sky blues, lime greens, and few canary yellows. It's like watching a beautiful painting in motion. Saturated color schemes appear to be obscure in all locations. Wait, is it obscure to see purple clouds or blue human beings? Also, is it weird that most of the human beings around here seem much happier than the ones claiming to be normal while coping and cooping themselves up in their own neighborhoods and never leaving their silo? In fact, what is normal? I let out a blissful sigh and looked back at Arian, still holding my hand. We are now both violet. Done.